Hello my loves, and welcome to a new vlog, a new segment that I'm really excited to be doing with you all. Have my handy notebook here, so if you see me looking down, it's because it's my first time doing a video like this, and I wrote down some notes so that I wouldn't forget everything that I want to talk to you guys about today. So let's get started. So this type of vlog is going to be like me sitting down talking to you ladies about subjects that you ladies want to talk about. It could be sex, it could be relationship, it could be business, it could be vagina health, it could be whatever you guys want to talk about. So yeah, I've just kind of been feeling like for a long time I've been wanting to do a podcast and just kind of like have the freedom to talk about what I want to talk about, because in vlogs it's a little bit harder to just sit down and talk, because I feel like 90% of you guys who come to watch vlogs is because you guys want entertainment, not so much talk. So I always feel like I'm rushed. So sometimes if you guys feel like, oh my gosh, she's talking so fast, one, I'm Latina, I always talk fast, but two, it's always because I feel like, oh my gosh, I need to shorten down the vlog because people are not going to be interested, they don't want to hear me talk, blah 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 blah. So sometimes I feel like very rushed when it comes to vlogs, and so I just wanted to do something else that wasn't a podcast, but I could just sit down and talk to you guys. And so I came up with this plan. I think eventually, if it turns out great, I'll turn it into a podcast. And yeah, it's honestly just a time for me to talk, share about my life, share about questions and that you guys have, share my answers, share any tips to you ladies. And yeah, so I'm gonna start out. I don't have any wine or tea or anything today. I just have my water because I haven't worked out today. So I will be sipping on my water to stay hydrated between these talks. Let me take a sip. And I haven't come up with a name yet. There I go, dropping my water. I haven't come up with a name yet, but I do want to call it something cool. So if you guys have any questions, please leave them down below. The first like 5 minutes, I kind of want to just catch you guys up on my life, any shows that I'm watching, any kind of things that aren't so much related to fitness. So first of all, this week was busy. This weekend I wanted to get a lot of stuff done, but Mother Nature was like, yeah, it's the time of the month, you're gonna lay down in bed all day. So yesterday I literally just lay down in bed all day. My cramps have been getting a little bit worse now. They were pretty okay last month, and then I stopped taking Glow for a little bit and not taking any Dim, and I feel like that's why my cramps were a little bit worse this week. I just ordered Dim. I got it in today. If you guys don't know Dim, honestly, I don't know the science behind it. I will do my science research behind it and let you guys know what I think about it. It's supposed to help balance out your hormones. So I'm gonna take that for a month and see how my next period is, and then I'll share it with you ladies. But if you guys want to do your own research, you can. I was taking Glow religiously, but there's something in Glow and I need to figure out what it is. Glow is a supplement that Ghost has, and it helps with hair, nails, hormones, but there's something in there that I feel like is upsetting my bladder. So I need to figure out what it is, but I'm gonna start taking Dim, see if that's not gonna hurt my bladder, and then I'll figure it out what it is. But anyways, hormones were crazy this week. I haven't really been watching any new shows. I shared with you guys on the last vlog that Bridgerton was a very, very good show, so I hope you guys watched it. And we also started watching A Teacher on Hulu. It was pretty good. It kind of just opens your eyes on, you know, that kind of relationship. I'm a pretty open-minded person, but seeing how it's honestly about a teacher and a student and their relationship, obviously, seeing that just kind of made me think, okay, think not as liberal as I usually think. So it just really made me put myself in the student's point of view, with all the emotional distress that they went through. So I highly recommend that you watch it. It's not like a fabulous show, but it's really good as far as like how they portray the person's emotions and all that. So if you have time, watch it. And other than that, honestly, I've just been watching Parks and Recs again because I like to end my night with like a funny show. So if you guys have any recommendations on any shows that you guys think I should watch, please leave them down below. I'm a big like funny kind of comedy shows. I like to watch good things before I go to bed, things like that. I don't like suspense as much. So if you guys have any recommendations, leave them down below. I'll watch it for you ladies and then share my thoughts with you guys. I wrote everything down so I wouldn't forget. And then let me share a little bit about fitness with you ladies. So the goal this year is to grow my glutes as much as possible. If you guys have been watching my vlogs, you know that I've started a new workout plan, and so with that I want to start measuring my glutes every week to see what kind of progress I make. I will say that I am not eating in a calorie surplus, so that may affect my glute growth a little bit, and that's only because I feel like I need to tighten up, especially after the holidays, and then I have a vacation coming up here soon, so I kind of want to watch what I'm eating a little bit. I've been kind of letting my freedom roam on the weekends, and that hasn't been good because I've been feeling it. I'm like, man, I work really hard Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends come and I just kind of indulge in whatever I want, and it really does set me back a little bit. So going on forward this week, I'm really going to pay attention to what I'm eating on the weekends as well, and not just go full force. But going back to that, yeah, my glute growth is the #1 priority this year. Last year in the beginning of January, before I started prep, my glutes were at a 37 inches, and right now they're at 38. So it's only been 1 whole inch for a whole year, but that's only because last year, if you guys have been following me, you know that I did my prep the entire year, so I was in a calorie deficit the entire year, which means you're not going to grow in a calorie deficit. So I'm excited to right now maintain and with this program see what kind of changes I make, and then after the summer comes, I'm going to go full force in a bulk, really just get out of my comfort zone and be like, you know what, screw it if I grow the tummy, I need to grow my glutes. It's a goal of mine, so that's going to be the focus, and I want to keep you ladies all updated. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys know that I do my best to share my fitness goals with you guys, and I'll definitely be keeping up with the glute growth with my vlogs. Not so much the talks, but with my vlogs I will. So if you guys have any questions with that, as always, you guys know you can ask me. But anyways, let's get into this segment. So on Instagram, I asked you ladies to ask me relationship questions because I wanted to just kind of get into that first. There's a lot to go over with relationships, so it's probably going to be different segments, and the questions that you guys had were really good. So before we get into it, let me just introduce myself a little bit. As you guys know, I'm JazzyFit or JazminPK. It's funny because, you know, when I first made my Instagram, my husband, I was with Chris, he was like, make sure you choose something that you're gonna go by, and not a lot of people called me Jazzy or JazzyFit, and now that's like what everybody knows me as. Like it's rare when someone calls me Jasmine or anything like that, so it's funny that everyone calls me JazzyFit. So when I introduce myself, I'm just like, oh, hey, it's JazzyFit. So I'm JazminPK, JazzyFit. I started my Instagram about 6 years ago, and it was just kind of like a whatever. And then I started kind of posting my modeling pictures on there because I wanted to be a model so bad. But I'm really short, I'm 5'4", so unfortunately that didn't work out. At the time I was with Chris, so Chris is my current husband. We've been together for, it'll be 11 years in May, but we've only been married for 5. Anyways, I was with him at the time, and he was like, you know what, we should get into fitness. He was really hardcore into fitness. We had just stopped cross country, so he was like, let's see what fitness takes you. Let's just start posting your workouts, and that could be a way of you showing who you are to the world. And I was like, okay, that's great. If modeling didn't work for me, I can do fitness. So I started kind of my fitness platform, not knowing exactly what I was doing. Honestly, I was just posting my workouts, posting my transformations, a lot of like just highs and lows on there. And yeah, so that's my little background about when I started my Instagram. And so I started it with Chris. Basically, we made my page what it is now together. There was a lot of just hiccups in the road, but it's all been a learning experience. It's been him and I just learning as much as we can, watching videos, listening to motivational podcasts about what to do, how to market, all this stuff, and that's made us where we're at today, honestly. So just wanted to kind of catch you guys up on that. A lot of JazzyFit is a lot of Chris, so I want to just, you know, say that, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today without him. And for a long time it had been a lot about us, and I just kind of lost myself in that. And it wasn't until I think 2019 that I started just really focusing on myself and trying to say, okay, who is Jazzyfit, really, who is Jasmine Pineda. And I started just reading more, really starting to do things on my own, still obviously getting him involved in everything, but really focusing on what I wanted in my life. And that just kind of helped me a lot and has helped me grow so much the last 2 years. But yeah, our brand, my life, our life is the both of us. So a lot of these relationship questions that you guys have, it's going to be really hard to answer them in some ways, because I haven't dated since I was 15. So I'm gonna actually get new guests and my friends who are actually dating now, so that they can help you ladies with the questions that you guys have. But I'm gonna go ahead and go into questions that kind of go around my husband and I right now, and things that I went through. And like I said, it might be a little bit different, because when I went through things I was a teenager, as opposed to going through things now as an adult. So I want to get every aspect and every opinion in there, so I can help you ladies as much as possible. But right now it'll definitely be just about my experience and my relationship right now with my husband. So little thing about me and Chris. Like I said, we started dating when I was 15. There were many breakups, a lot of growing up to do, a lot of change between the both of us. Someone asked me, like, how many times did you guys break up? And I'm like, I don't even know, like 5 or 6. We broke up a lot, and we would get back together after like 2 weeks, broke up after like arguments. And that was because we were so young. My parents were so strict. I wasn't allowed to go out, so it was a lot of just Chris being patient, and at the same time Chris being an idiot and a young boy who was, to put it straight, horny guy who would break up, be like, oh, I don't know if I want to commit to you long term, and then he'd be like, no, I miss you, let's get back together. So a lot of that going on in the mix. But at the same time, we were really young, 17, 18. We didn't really know what we wanted in our life, and I felt a lot of pressure being the oldest to know what I wanted to do with my life. So that pushed us kind of to get married really, really early. Looking back, we're really glad we did, but that's why we made the decision to get married so early in life, was because I feel like we were pressured by society to get married so fast, and by your parents, my parents more than his, to get married so fast. So yeah, anyways, I wanted to also see, I was gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna lose my train of thought sometimes, so I apologize. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit of our past. And now it's like, we've been married for 5 years, and we've learned a lot throughout the 5 years. There's been some ups and some downs still, but more than anything, we've grown together, thankfully, because we've talked and communicated with each other so well. And we're in a really, really good place now. And I think that has a lot to do with communicating, trusting each other. More than anything, I think is communicating with each other is like, has been key. I had a question saying, how much do you share with your partner? And I share everything with him. Honestly, everything, and he shares everything with me. We're open books. We talk a lot about our emotions and how we feel with each other. More so me than him. I have to kind of ask him. He's not going to sit down and be like, hey, this felt today, because he's a little bit more closed off than I am. But we do our best to communicate with each other and share our feelings with each other. So that's honestly helped a lot. And then, you know, we work together. I got another question saying, you know, do you not get tired of each other? And to be honest, I don't get tired of him. He's my best friend. We see each other all day, every day, but we both have our own things to do. He works, I work. I make sure I have an agenda, and I do everything that I have to do, get ready for photo shoots, go to these photo shoots, reply to my clients, you know, design things for No Evil. There's so many things that I do, and there's so many things that he does. So we wake up, we eat breakfast together, and then we go our separate ways. And then we go to the gym together, but then he works out with his friends, I work out with my friends. We come together at night, we still work, we shower together, and then he kind of games and I do my own things. So it kind of gives us breaks from one another, but at the same time, we do our best to spend time. Like the 1 or 2 hours that we're with each other at night, right before bed, is like quality time. We like talk, or we'll watch a show that we both enjoy, and we just make sure that we spend quality time with each other at the same time. But I honestly never get tired of him. He's my best friend, and I don't really think he ever gets tired of me. I don't know, but I just feel like we get along really, really well. I will say that it's not perfect. I don't want to be like, oh no, I never get tired of my husband, because I still go hang out with my friends. I make sure like during the week, if I need to go have some girl time, I'll go get my nails done. I'll go to Target by myself. I'll go to the mall by myself and just get my time and give him his space. So we do give each other our space. It's not like we're up each other's butt every single moment, but for the most part, we enjoy each other's company a lot. But I just kind of wanted to talk about those little two things that came from the top of my head and give you guys a little background about our life a little bit, so that the next questions that I answer kind of make sense a little bit. So I wanted to kind of talk about two topics in this first video, and that's going to be jealousy, arguments, and then if I have time, freedom in relationships, because I feel like those are the three things that I get asked the most. So the number one is jealousy, right? So jealousy in relationships, jealousy in a marriage, how we deal with that. And I think jealousy, I think every relationship deals with some sort of jealousy, right? Especially if you love your partner. I think it's okay to have a little bit of jealousy, but I also think that jealousy comes from feeling insecure within yourself. So I know that for me, I've shared it before, that I start feeling more jealous towards Chris when I'm insecure about how I feel about myself. I start like not liking who I am, or not who I am, but if I'm starting to feel like insecure about my body, I feel like I compare myself a lot to these Instagram models that he follows, and I start being really insecure and I start picking him apart. I'm like, why is he liking this picture? Why is he following her? Is he going to be paying attention to this girl? Like, I just literally, all these thoughts go into my head, and it's not about him. It's about me. It's how I'm feeling within myself. So jealousy strains a lot from insecurity. And so I will say that if you start feeling jealous, really ask yourself, okay, one, why am I feeling jealous? Two, how am I feeling about myself? Because if you are feeling insecure about yourself, you can do something about it and start, you know, focusing on yourself rather than putting this strain on your relationship over something that he may not be doing, over it's something how you feel. So really ask yourself, okay, what can I do to, you know, feel a little bit more secure about myself? Or is he doing something to make me feel insecure? Is he or she, I'm thinking a lot of the people watching this are going to be females, but it works both ways. You need to ask yourself, okay, is my significant other doing things to make me feel insecure? Is he liking all these Instagram models? And then, you know, like for me, for instance, and I'm going to be completely honest, for me, it was like when I was feeling insecure, I was feeling insecure about my body, and I was seeing Chris like other girls' pictures, and I've never had a problem with that. I will 100% say I've never had an issue with that, but he was starting to like, and not even starting, he's always done it, but because I was feeling insecure about myself, I was like, why is he liking all these girls' pictures that have fake butts and who look ridiculous? And why is, like, I just kept thinking about that. I'm like, why is he liking this? Like, does he want me to look like that? I don't look like that. So it was causing all these issues in my head and arguments with him, because I'm like, why are you doing that? And he was like, babe, I've always done that. It's never been an issue with us. You know, I've always followed models to see what ideas we can get from their shoots and stuff. So why is it a problem now? And he's like, if I follow this girl with a fake ass, it doesn't necessarily mean that I want that. It just means I think she looks nice. I don't necessarily mean that I want that from you, and I'm not comparing you to, but because I was feeling insecure with myself, I was like, does he want that? I don't look like that. So, you know, ask yourselves, okay, was it because he was doing something that it was just like out of nowhere, or is it because, for me, it was out of insecurity? So what is he doing, or what is it your other person doing to make you feel insecure? And then if they are doing something, ask them about it. Like, you know, example, your significant other may not be posting you on social media, and that may be a problem for you. So talk to that person. Hey, you know, you're not posting me on social media, and I know it's kind of dumb, but it's something that really affects me and my feelings. And make sure that when you talk to your significant other, it's actually like talking. It's not out of anger. Like, why don't you ever post me? It's, hey, can we sit down, babe? I'm kind of feeling this way, and I would appreciate it if you posted me. I know it's kind of insignificant to you, but it just means something to me. And 90% of the time they will react in a good way. And if they don't, then that's a whole different conversation on its own. So really see why, you know, you're feeling that certain way, or if they're doing something to make you feel insecure. Because if they're also, jealousy also comes from trust issues. Do you trust the person that you're with? And that's very important, to trust that person. If you don't trust the person that you're with, it can really, really strain your relationship, because you're going to constantly be checking up on what he's doing and what she's doing, overthinking everything. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? Why is he here? Why did you take too long at the gym? Why did you take too long here? Like, literally, you're going to be over analyzing everything. So making sure that you trust that person is very important, because if you don't, jealousy rises. So going back to our relationship, my personal experience, I feel like I'm only jealous in the relationship when I'm feeling insecure about myself. And then we sit down and we talk about it. We do a really good job on talking about it, and he picks up when I'm feeling insecure about myself. So he'll set me down and he'll be like, you need to get out of your head. Why are you feeling this way? Okay, you're feeling this way, XYZ, so this is what we need to do to fix it. So we sit down and we assess what's going on with me, and we fix the jealousy issue. And thankfully, Chris has never been the jealous type with me. He's very secure in who he is, 100%. He's secure in what we have. I think if I started acting weird, as far as like, hey, deuces, I'm gonna go to the gym by myself, out of random, not because I need to, but like, you know, doing my own thing, then he'd be like, okay, like, what's up? What's going on? So if we're on track and everything seems on track, and it's just a little bit of jealousy over me feeling insecure, we talk about it. But for the most part, we do our best not to like be super jealous with one another. Obviously, we'll goof around, and I'll be like, you know, make sure you behave at the gym without me today. I don't want you saying hi to these girls. And he's like, and I'll be like, what are you gonna say if this girl comes up to you? He's gonna be like, hey, I'm single. So we'll goof around and stuff. And like I said, it's okay to be a little bit jealous, but also too much jealousy can put a strain on your relationship. So talk it out with your significant other if you are feeling jealous. Okay, number 2 is arguments. I had a question asking, can you go over arguments? How do you get over the little arguments? And to be honest, when you first are in a relationship, it's hard to, like, I don't know what it is. I feel like you guys, it's like a honeymoon phase, and then you guys can go through segments where all you do is kind of argue. And I will say, over experience of being with Chris for such a long time, is I've just kind of asked myself, is this worth arguing over? Like, am I being stubborn? Because arguments sometimes honestly happen because you're being stubborn over something, because you don't want to give in to the other person, because you're like, you know what, he's always right, so I'm gonna be right today, so I'm just gonna keep it. I'm the one that's right, so I'm just gonna keep going until he apologizes. And that's such a horrible way to look at things. So make sure that you're not being stubborn, and that if it's over something small, just let it go. Learn to just let it go. Now, if it's something that's bothering you and really bothering you, you know, it's something that, excuse me, I have a lot of air in my stomach, I guess, because I'm talking really fast. If it's an argument if it's something that's really making you emotional, talk it over rather than arguing. I think it's always about how you talk to your significant other. Don't come and attack him or her. Don't start the conversation by attacking the other person, especially if you want to get it resolved. Make sure that you guys sit down and like say, hey, when I know like I'm upset at Chris, I'll be like, hey, I really need to talk to you, and I'll make sure he's not doing anything that he's busy. It's not why he's gaming or whatever. It's like, hey, I really want to talk to you. So we'll sit down and be like, I really didn't appreciate when you did this. You know, it just made me feel this certain way, and we'll talk about it instead of arguing. Do we argue sometimes? Yeah, sometimes we'll be in a heated argument, or if I'm hungry. 99% of the time it'll be like when I'm hangry, we'll argue, but we'll let it go. We'll let it go, or I'll be like, you know what, I'm sorry, I overreacted. Or he'll be like, you know what, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. And we'll kind of get it over with, instead of me being like, apology accepted, but I just need to get over it, give me some time. I just kind of, you know, I'm like, you know what, I get over it. I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to be on bad terms with you. So we kind of get over arguments pretty fast. You kind of have to pick your battles, see what you want. Like, honestly, is it worth us arguing over this? Because honestly, for me, I just don't like being in an argument with Chris. I don't like fighting. I don't like being mad at each other. I don't like it when he's mad at me. So I'm like, okay, I don't give in. I'm not saying just be like, okay, fine, whatever, I'm sorry. No, like, talk it over, make sure that the argument gets resolved. But if it's something dumb, like, just get over it. Learn to get over things, and it'll make your life a lot easier, I promise. So last thing I want to talk about is, because we do have a little bit of time, is freedom in relationships. Got a question asking, hey, how do you deal with Chris wanting to go out at night with his buddies? And I'm like, thankfully, Chris is not that kind of type of guy to just want to go out. I'm the one that has to kind of push him to be like, hey, go out to eat with your friends tonight, like on a Friday night, like, hey, go hang out with the boys. Thankfully, Chris isn't the type that is like, hey, I'm gonna go to the bar with my friends, deuces. Like, thankfully, I've never had to deal with that. I don't know how I would deal with that, to be honest. I don't think I would be okay with my husband going out to bars every weekend with his friends and like leaving me at home, or my boyfriend. I don't believe in that. I'm sorry. And I will say that I think everyone is entitled to their own opinion in a relationship. If you have friends who don't agree with you on certain things, that's okay. And I know this is dumb, what I'm about to say to some of you, but I was watching Sex and the City 2 the other day, and if you haven't watched the movie, it's pretty good, but it talked about how relationships are so different. There's not one road, and there's not one straight way to everything. And just because your friend or your family believes that you should do things a certain way, it doesn't mean that it has to be done that way. If your friend believes in you know, staying in with your spouse and not going out, that's fine on them. And you want to give your husband freedom and you're okay with it, that's also fine. I think that you should respect other people's opinion as far as how they handle their relationship. It's not always perfect. It's not always it has to be this way, this way, and this way. You have to get married, you have to have kids, and you have to do this and this and that. It's whatever you and your significant other choose it and want it to be. That's it. As long as you and your significant other are happy, that's all that matters. So going back to that, if you're the type of person where your boyfriend's asking you, hey babe, can I go to the bar with my friends? And you're okay with it, not because your friend's like, girl, you don't know what they're gonna be doing. No. If you're okay with it and you trust your significant other to go to the bar, let them go to the bar. I will say, I personally would not want Chris to be going to the bar every weekend. I will say, if the boys are like, hey, let's meet up for a drink, cool, go out for a drink. That doesn't mean go out till 4 or 5 in the morning. That means go out for a drink. You know, I expect you to be, not expect, but I would hope that you're home by 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning. And I feel like if you have that trust with that person, that's fine. Now, it's different if he's like, hey, I'm going to go to the club and dancing with my buddies and leave you at home. Hell no. Because we always do this thing with Chris. Would you want me to do that? Would you want me to go to the club with my girlfriends, dancing at a night, leave you at home, come back at 4 or 5 in the morning? No, that's something that doesn't go with our relationship. Now, like I said, if you want to do that, if you and your girls go to the club by yourself and party and your boyfriend's fine with that, by all means. That's you. Whatever makes y'all's relationship works, makes y'all's relationship work. That's just something we don't do. But I will say that it's okay to give your significant other freedom. You want to give your significant other freedom, and you should be okay with that. Like, last weekend, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go have dinner with my girlfriends on a Friday night. I really want to just talk to my girls. I want to have a margarita. I want to have a good time. Hey, he's fine with that. Go have a girl time. Go have your girl time. You know, just don't be back at 3 or 4 in the morning. You know, I know what works with our relationship, you know, and my girls understand that. They know that I'm married. They understand, hey, it's 12:31. Jazzy probably should get home to her husband because, you know, we've had her long enough. Now, if they want to stay out longer, they do it, and they respect my relationship with my husband, and I respect theirs. Same as his friends, which are also my friends. They understand our relationship. They know that they're not going to be inviting Chris to the club because he's not going to go. He wouldn't go regardless. He's like, what am I going to do at the club with the guys? But they know that he's going to say no. So it depends on what freedom means to y'all's relationship, and you ladies also being okay with giving your significant other freedom to hang out with his friends. I think it becomes a problem when it's an every weekend thing and he keeps your ass at home, and you're like, you know what? You're starting to go out on the weekends with your friends more than you're hanging out with me, and I'm hanging out with my girls more than I'm hanging out with you. Then that's an issue. So I think it's always about having that healthy balance, talking to your significant other, saying, okay, what flies and what flies and what doesn't fly. But also, a thing that's helped us is, you know, I think a lot of the times, and I don't want to be, you know, I'm a feminist. I don't want to be like, oh, it's always guys, but guys will be like, hey, I'm gonna go out, and then if you say you're gonna go out, they'll be like, no, you shouldn't be going out with your girlfriends to a club. But it's okay for them too. think what's helped us is whatever you do, I'm gonna do. Just remember that. You go out with your friends to the club this weekend. I promise you, honey, next weekend I'll be at the club dancing my ass off by myself with my girls. So make sure that whatever you guys agree to, it's equal terms. So you guys are in a relationship, y'all are equal. No one is better than the other person. No one is higher than the other person. If that person can do this, that other person can do that. And it's not also about restricting the other person. Okay, if I can't do this, you can't do it either. Like I'm saying, whatever works with y'all's relationship, there shouldn't be restrictions in your relationship. You should know the other person, and you should know, okay, I'm getting married to this person who likes to go out a lot, or I'm in a relationship with a person that likes to go out a lot. Okay, I'm gonna accept the fact that he's gonna go out a lot, but I'm also gonna talk to this person and be like, let's come to an agreement of where our balance is, right? So just wanted to go over those things with you guys, ladies, and I want to say that this is the honest truth that I'm sharing with you guys is what works for my relationship. I do not want any judgment here on my relationship. You know, this is what I've learned and what's worked for my husband and I so far, and it's worked amazing. I will say that right now our relationship has been the best it has ever been in my entire life. And I am not a love doctor. I by all means am not a love doctor, but I'm giving you guys advice as to what has helped my marriage work and what has helped me the most. And there's so many topics to talk about, and I promise I want to cover everything, but just wanted to start out here with the 3 things that I got asked the most. On my next segment, I want to have my friend come on and talk about heartbreak. You know, she's still dating. She's 29, she's dating, and it's seeing her date has been like, man, ladies, I understand where you guys are coming from. I understand it's hard. I'm thankful that I haven't had to date right now because, you know, I haven't dated in 10 years. So, you know, it's different nowadays. I understand that. So there's so many topics that I want to cover with you guys and what I would do if I was single now. So, but that'll be in a later one. I just kind of want to introduce it here, this segment. And like I said, if you guys have a title for me or a name, leave it down below because I'm still thinking about what I want to call this segment. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a lot of me talking and sharing my thoughts with you guys, but I'm excited. I'm looking forward to doing more of these and just getting, you know, my thoughts and my advice out there to you ladies. And I hope you guys will take it in the best way possible. Yeah, if you guys have any other questions, you know, every week I'll try putting it on my stories as far as like, okay, what topics do you guys want me to cover this week? But please leave them down below as well, that way I can look at them too. So as always, if you guys have any questions, leave them down below. I love you guys so much, and vlogs will also be coming. This is just sit down talks. So I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.